Evening, everyone. It is 5:51 on this Tuesday afternoon. Excuse me, another short week for the market. And it was kind of an interesting day. It was a split day with the Dow closing down 231 and change, or 60.62%. Advanced declines there were 7 to 2, and the Nasdaq came roaring back and closed down just $28.41, or 0.19. So over three times the loss in the Dow stocks. Um, and the Nasdaq stocks were still heavily weighted to the downside. They were 3 to 1 to the downside. But, you know, there were the same standards that you've been seeing all along. We had Microsoft up, we had Nvda 563 up another 16, and we had some takeover. I'm not really sure what the problem is with this deal. I mentioned it this morning. ANSYS, uh, ANSS, which was 327, down $19 and change, being acquired by Synopsys. It's partly money and partly stock, a third of a share of Synopsys, and I believe $197. When the announcement was made, ANSYS was actually up a little. When I started taking notes for this morning's video, it was down $1.48. When I got ready to actually do it, the video, it was down 16, and it never really recovered. It closed down 1906, down 550. So I haven't looked at the numbers. It's a $35 billion deal, which is not inconsequential. Um, but I don't know the why of it. In any event, we had economic news this morning, which was the New York State Manufacturing Index, Empire State, which was horrendous. It was down 43.7. Expectation was down 5. And last month it was down 14.5. So it's just gotten almost three times worse. But Goldman on its earnings, uh, 380.45 up 270 or 7 tenths. Morgan Stanley, which posted it as a beat, and it was a beat on revenues. It was only a beat on earnings that had been dramatically reduced. So I know I said it this morning. I'll say it again. When you change expectations and you prepare someone and everyone on the street for a disappointment, and then you beat it, that is not a beat. And they showed that to Morgan Stanley today, 85.97 down 373. PNC, mixed mixed numbers, mixed response. 149.02 up a dime. So nothing special there. We also had a Fed speaker who was very dovish the last time he spoke, Waller. He was not dovish today. He reiterated the Fed's estimate for 3 cuts rather than the 6 that the market is looking for. And between um, Empire State and that and the earnings for the financials not being overwhelming either on Friday or today took this market lower. So uh, we have that. Volume was very big today. I don't know whether it was just making up for yesterday's holiday, but we were doing 4.4 million last Friday. We did 6.4 million. It's almost a 50% increase. So not bad there. The chart on the screen is the Bitcoin. I've been saying that it needs to get back down into this area, and it was almost there today. I'm not sure whether it's going to close this gap or not. Um, this gap is between 39,650 and 40,220. It doesn't leave a lot of gaps. They generally come back and get filled, usually quickly. This one has been quite a while. I mean, this gap occurred all the way back here in early December, December 4th. So we'll have to see. MACD rolling back to the upside, and the relative strength is, getting into that bottoming area. I would absolutely, if we close this gap, if I could buy this at 39, 250, 39 500 in that area, I would have to be buying probably BITX, which is the leveraged ETF. As far as the rest, the grains were down a little, oil was down a little. By the way, that Bitcoin had been down as much as 2,000 today, closing down $395. Gold was sharply lower, down 21.40. Silver down 24 cents, up 2.5 cents in the copper. The dollar, well, let's go to the bonds. The bonds have just been acting really poorly. We had 396 30-year late last week, and today we had 407.90. I think it closed around 406. Now, this is the bond. I'm going to have to change this and see if I can show you what I was looking at, and that is the question mark and the arrow. This has been the prevalent market action since the high at 192, lower highs all the way down, and lower lows all the way down. It looks like we're rolling back to the downside here again. And if we look at it on the daily, bring it in a bit. Let's see, 6 month. You can see that we're rolling to the downside again in relative strength, although the MACD is about as extended apart as it tends to get. So we may start to see a little bit of a bounce here. Certainly, this 120 level on the 30-year is pretty decent. It was the last breakout to the upside, even though we did not make a newer, higher high. Um, Apple on the news that they're going to delete the oxygen sensor on the watch was down today, and you know Boeing is just getting so beat up here. It was down 8% today, $17.50. It was under 200 again, which is a long way to come for the biggest manufacturing company in the U.S. And the DOJ beat JetBlue and Spirit. JetBlue 516, that was up 27 cents or 5.5% on that news. Um, Spirit, on the other hand, closed 14.97 on Friday, traded 15.5 this morning. When the news hit, it sank all the way down to 580, closed 782, down 715, or just a scant 48%. Tomorrow we have mortgages early. At 8:30 we have retail sales ex auto, December import prices ex oil, export prices ex agriculture. At 9:15 we have December industrial production and capacity utilization. All those coming in, the expectations are about unchanged. And at 10 o'clock, we have November business inventories and January NAHB housing market index. So we have a pretty full week the rest of the week as it relates to economic news. All right, folks, I'll be back first thing in the morning. Hope everyone had a good day.